Part 2. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 11. After eating, the four of them were not as impatient as before. However, the two little girls whispered and did not want to speak to He Tian Tian. They felt that what He Tian Tian just said was flattering. Li Mingkai didn't like people who refuted what he said, so he looked away at He Tian Tian. Even if He Tian Tian is good looking, he would not talk to such a sophisticated and smooth woman. He Tian Tian knew who these two people were. The tall one with small eyes was named Lin Ziru, and the shorter and rounder one was named Huang Jingli. They were from other places in Jiangsu province. In his previous life, He Tian Tian was young and couldn't play with these 18 or 19-year-old sisters. But at that time, they lived together in the abandoned Tutu temple. The two of them often asked He Tian Tian to do housework and sometimes helped them wash clothes. As for other evil intentions, He Tian Tian hasn't discovered them yet, so now that she sees these two people again, she just doesn't like them, but she can't say she hates them or resents them. However, He Tian Tian smiled bitterly in her heart. In her previous life, she was just a little girl who didn't understand the world. If someone did it, she might not know it, and she might not be able to see it. He Tian Tian was sitting alone on a chair and sleeping on a large rattan box. My whole body felt cold, and I fell asleep soon. After waking up, He Tian Tian stood up and stretched to regain some energy. Seeing that no one was looking at her, she sat down and opened her trousers to see what was going on with her left ankle. The coldness all over my body starts from here, but this feeling is very comfortable and not as abrupt as having a bag of ice cubes tied to my ankle. He Tian Tian took off her socks, her eyes widened, and she couldn't close her mouth from ear to ear in surprise. There was a silver band as thick as chopsticks on her ankle. If you look closely, you can see that there are dense network patterns on this silver band. She looked familiar, but she couldn't remember where she had seen it. He Tian Tian rubbed it with her hands, but did not remove the strap on her leg, as if it was growing in her flesh. It didn't hurt or itch, but He Tian Tian felt a little nervous and kept rubbing. After a while, the silver white belt slid down from He Tian Tian's ankle at a speed visible to the naked eye. This is not a belt, this is a silver snake. He Tian Tian finally remembered that at the end of her past life, under the persimmon tree, it was this little silver snake that bit her and made her lose consciousness. When I think about it again, I am back to the age of 18, and back to the home I have dreamed of all my life. Ah, the sight in front of him was so weird that He Tian Tian couldn't help shouting. He stood up quickly and stamped his feet, trying to get rid of the disgusting little silver snake. Hearing He Tian's scream, Li Mingkai, Lin Ziru, and Huang Jingli over there all looked over and frowned slightly, thinking that He Tian was going crazy with epilepsy. He Tian explained dryly, "I just saw a mouse." When the three people heard the rat, they quickly looked around and found no rat. Li Mingkai curled his lips and said, "There are so many people here. How dare this rat dare to come here? You must be dazzled." "That's right, why didn't we see it?" Huang Jingli agreed. When she said this, she looked at Li Mingkai with a slightly shy look. "Ouch, I fell in love so quickly." But Li Mingkai has very high standards and looks down on the ordinary-looking Huang Jingli. He Tian Tian didn't want to explain more, so she followed their words and said, "Maybe I'm really blind." Just as He Tian Tian was saying these words, the little silver snake once again crawled to He Tian's left ankle and formed a circle. This time, little silver actually raised his head and grinned at He Tian. God, who can tell her what this little guy is? Snake spirit? After being frightened a few more times, she would become a snake. He Tian covered her mouth and didn't dare to scream. Even though she was so old, she still couldn't calm down. After a while, He Tian calmed down a little, and then rubbed a silver strap on her left ankle again, trying to prove whether she was dazzled. The little silver snake moved a few times again, raised its head, stared at He Tian Tian, stretched out its head, suddenly lowered its head, and bit He Tianation's ankle. Damn, it hurts. Not only does it bite people, it also drinks blood. He Tian Tian turned pale with fright, slumped down on the chair, closed her eyes, and remained motionless. So pitiful, is she going to die again? But after the pain passed, He Tian Tian found that she had not fainted, nor had she returned to the previous life that made her worse than death. She was still at the train station. He Tian Tian breathed a sigh of relief, as long as she didn't go back to the previous life that led her to despair. It was just that little pain, it was nothing, she could bear it. The little white snake drinks blood, so she will eat more in the future and grow more blood. He Tian Tian reached out and wanted to continue touching the little silver snake. She thought that if she hadn't been so curious and insisted on verifying it, she wouldn't have received that bite. Forget it, leave it alone. The king of hell wants people to die at the third watch, but will not let him die at the fifth watch. Everything goes according to destiny. Not far away, Lin Xiru and Huang Jingli looked over at He Tian Tian from time to time. They felt that He Tian Tian was a bit distracted and whispered, "Stay away from this girl in the future. Who knows if there is something wrong with her brain." Through the window, you can see the sun setting in the west and the sunset glow filling the sky. Except for He Tian Tian, no one had time to look at the endless sunset outside. They kept complaining about the people in Kijia village. Why didn't they come? It's going to be dark soon, so we'll probably have to sleep outdoors. It wasn't until it got dark outside that Chi Dazu finally hurried over, his dark face full of manliness and his clothes wet. The middle-aged man brought Chi Dazu over, criticizing in a low voice along the way, "You are wrong this time, why are you so late? Director Wu, it's all my fault. Hey, the ox cart broke down on the way. I have to find someone to repair it. I'll get to this point over and over again. I've wronged those young people," Chi Dazu said. "Wait a minute. I will see them and apologize to them." Director Wu smiled and said, "The youngest educated youth, He Tian Tian, really got it right. I guess your bullock cart broke down on the road. Hey, it's rare for someone to understand us." Chi Dazu smiled honestly and came with Director Wu. But Chi Dazu hadn't yet stood firm. Li Mingkai stood up from his seat with a loud noise and said, "We have been waiting for 6 or 7 hours. Do you have a sense of time? Time is life. If this is an emergency, it's long overdue." Huang Jingli saw that Director Wu and Chi Dazu's faces were getting more and more ugly, so she quickly pulled Li Mingkai and said, "Are you hungry and dizzy?" Li Mingkai was pulled by Huang Jingli, interrupting what he was going to say next. This Li Mingkai was indeed, as Huang Jingli said, dizzy from hunger, in a bad mood, and couldn't help but get angry. New book period, slow growth. Every time I refresh, I see people voting, leaving messages, and giving rewards, and I feel very grateful. Write books seriously, write wonderful stories, and give back to readers. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 12. Because of Huang Jingli's reminder, Li Mingkai's eldest son's temper was forcibly suppressed and did not show up. Li Mingkai was in a bad mood, but he also knew that he would offend people after losing his temper as a new arrival, so he turned his head and said nothing. Chi Dazu's eyes flashed with displeasure, but in order to respond to the call, he couldn't have trouble with the young people in the city here. After all, it was his work mistake that he came late. He is almost 50 years old and does not care about the young people in the city these years. Haha, the bullock cart broke down on the road. I'm late. Please don't be angry, Chi Dazu said cheerfully, it's dark and we can't leave. Director Wu, please provide a certificate. We will go to the guest house to stay for one night. Tomorrow leave early in the morning. That's all we can do, Director Wu said. Looking over here, the four of you follow village chief Chi and wait outside first, and I'll issue a certificate for you. Li Mingkai didn't say anything, just took his things and walked out. He Tian carried the things on her back, carrying them in her hands and hanging them around her neck, looking very strenuous. Chi Dazu smiled and said, "You have so many things, let me get you some." After saying that, without waiting for He Tian to say thank you, he walked ahead carrying He Tianation's rattan box. The other three people felt uncomfortable when they saw Chi Dazu helping He Tian get things. They were also young people in the city, so why did they treat He Tian in a different light? Just because He Tian said something nice before? After leaving the train station, I saw a bullock cart dozens of meters away. When he arrived at the bullock cart, Chi Dazu put the rattan box on the bullock cart, wiped the sweat from his face, and said to the people behind him, "Get in the cart and sit down, and we will leave in a while." He Tian followed up and said very politely, "Thank you very much, village chief Chi." "Haha, you're welcome, you're welcome." Village chief Chi smiled and found He Tian very pleasing to his eyes. The three older young people in the city were not as polite as this little girl. With my eyes above my head, I really thought I came to the countryside to enjoy the blessings. Need to clean up? As for how to deal with it, it is not up to him, the village head, to decide. Linziru put away her things and sat on the bullock cart when she suddenly smelled a strange smell. He turned around and saw that there was a basket beside him. He quickly pinched his nose and complained, "Why is the cow dung in the car? It smells so bad." The driver of the bullock cart was called Chi Ergu, and he was the distant nephew of village chief Chi. When he heard this, he felt unhappy and said, "These are all good fertilizers, why can't we take them with us?" Huang Jingli also pinched her nose and said, "Throw it away quickly. It's so smelly on a hot day. I despise feces as dirty, and if you can, don't eat food grown in feces." Being looked down upon by others, Chi Dazu and Chi Ergu felt unhappy. It's just that when these people first arrived, they didn't want to be bullied at the train station. He Tian put the things away, sat down, and said, "I still have room here, please put it here." In his previous life, He Tian had done much dirtier and harder work, so what would he be afraid of if he had a basket of cow dung next to him? Nowadays, there are very few chemical fertilizers, and most of them are farmyard manure. When driving cattle carts, they will bring a basket with them to pick up cow dung. When you compare the two cars, you can immediately tell how good they are. Seeing that He Tian took the initiative to ask to be put by her side, Linziru, Huang Jingli, and Li Mingkai wanted it. Ignore He Tianation's smooth temperament for the time being. After a while, Director Wu took the certificate and handed it to village chief Chi, asking him to take several young people from the city to stay in a guest house. Rooms are in short supply, but fortunately Chi Dazu knows the people here and has opened 2 rooms. 1 room for men and 1 room for women. There are 3 beds in each room. There is no bathroom and it is inconvenient to take a shower. You have to go to the women's bathroom on the west side of the floor and the men's bathroom on the east side. There are faucets inside, so you can take a shower with some water. He Tian had lived here in her previous life and had some impressions of this place. When she got to the room, she immediately took her pajamas, wash basin, and her simple toiletry bag and ran to the bathroom to use the toilet and take a shower. When He Tian came back, Huang Jingli and Linziru were still complaining that the guest house was hot and the bed was too small. Linziru saw He Tianation's hair dripping with water, taking a bath and changing clothes, and asked hurriedly, "Is there a bathroom here?" He Tian didn't want to get along well with Linziru and Huang Jingli, but she also didn't want to reject them thousands of miles away. She is a young person in the city and cannot break away from this circle. Moreover, she is an adult, not 15 years old. She must get along with everyone in a mature manner. There is no washroom, but there are 2 toilets. There is a toilet inside, and you can take a shower behind the outer partition. It is not hot water, but the weather is hot now, and the water is not cold. The two sisters quickly went to take a shower, so that they can feel more comfortable and cool when they come back. He Tian chuckled. After taking a bath, she felt comfortable and the bad smell on her body was gone. Before, when Lin Xiru, Huang Jingli, and Li Mingkai disliked the smell of cow dung, He Tian once complained in her heart that the three of them had sat on the train for a day and a night and sweated so much that the smell was almost better than cow dung. After hearing He Tian's words, Lin Xiru and Huang Jingli also quickly took their clothes and toiletries and went to the toilet to take a shower. He Tian was the only one left in the room. She was not idle, but stood by the window and used the wind to dry her long hair. Just then, Village Chief Chi came over and brought 3 steamed buns, one for each of them. "Girl, everything you eat here is expensive, I'm sorry for you," Chi Shushu said, "I'll make do with it. I'll give you food when we get to the village." He Tian smiled, took the steamed bun, and said, "I won't feel wronged if I have the steamed bun to eat." "Thank you very much, Village Chief Chi." "Don't call me Village Chief Chi. My daughter is about the same age as you. Just call me Uncle Chi," Village Chief Chi said. "This girl is young, but she speaks and acts more appropriately." "Thank you, Uncle Chi," He Tian said crisply. She couldn't refuse the other party's kindness. In the future, in the countryside, some things will inevitably trouble Village Chief Chi. Leave a good impression now and it will be easier to do things later. "Okay, no more talking, you guys have a good rest, I'm going down," Village Chief Chi said. "After all, this is a girl's house, and he, a grown man, cannot stand at the door for too long." "Uncle Chi, walk slowly," He Tian said, sending Village Chief Chi away. He Tian went to get another bottle of hot water and waited for Lin Xiru and Huang Jingli to come over and eat together. After a while, Lin Jingru and Huang Jingli came back after taking a bath. Feeling refreshed, the two of them were in a much better mood, chatting and laughing. "Hey, why are there steamed buns? Did you go buy them?" Huang Jingli asked. She was already hungry. "This is from Village Chief Chi, one for each person. I made some hot water. Sisters, please come and have something to eat." He Tian smiled and said, "My stomach has been gurgling with hunger for a long time." Lin Xiru and Huang Jingli felt that He Tian was really lovable and considerate, so they drank hot water together, temporarily forgetting what happened in the morning, and no longer rejected He Tian. Seeing that the two of them no longer looked at her sideways, He Tian breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, there is no interest relationship between them for the time being. Even if there is some minor unhappiness, as long as one party provides a step, the other party will use the slope to get off the donkey. I finally squeezed in the contract yesterday and hope to catch up with the editor's recommendation this week. Asterisk carrot. Carrot asterisk, hee. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi-Sing Cao. Chapter 13. After having a bad sleep on the train, Lin Xiru and Huang Jingli slept soundly after eating steamed buns and taking a bath. He Tian was in good spirits. She packed her things, locked the door, turned off the lights, and opened the curtains to let the wind from outside in. There was no fan in the room, so she could only rely on the natural wind from outside to cool down. Listening to the breathing of others, He Tian closed her eyes and fell asleep in a daze. However, she had a dream, and what she dreamed of was the little silver snake that made He Tian at a loss and confused during the day. The little silver snake sat on the ground with its tail coiled, poked its head out, and warned, "Don't scratch me in the future. Don't scratch me. Don't scratch me. Say it 3 times for important things, don't scratch me." He Tian Tian scratched her head, trying to remind the little silver snake that it actually said it 4 times. What? The little silver snake can actually speak? He Tian Tian was stunned, which surprised her more than the fact that the little silver snake was wrapped around her ankle during the day and couldn't get off. This little white snake is really a spirit, He Tian Tian said with great certainty, regardless of why the little white snake didn't let her scratch it, and nodded quickly, no more scratching, no more scratching, never again. The little silver snake raised its head proudly. This human was timid and easy to control. He was disobedient, so he became obedient after being frightened. Seeing that the little silver snake understood human nature, He Tian Tian plucked up her courage and asked, "Snake spirit, no, it's the Snake King. If you bite me, will I die?" Although she was very scared, He Tian Tian was more concerned about her own life and death. Hearing this, the little silver snake was so angry that it jumped up and stood up on the ground with a swoosh. Yes, it was standing up. Only the tip of its tail supported the ground, and it spit out a red snake tongue from its mouth and said, "It's your honor to let me bite you. It will benefit you in the future." What the hell? Being bitten by a snake is actually a good thing? He Tian Tian didn't believe it and was about to refute it. The little silver snake stared at her with sinister eyes and said, "If you keep talking, I'll bite you to death." He Tian Tian has never been very courageous since she was a child. She immediately became timid when threatened by the little white snake and said quickly, "Okay, I won't dare to do it anymore. I won't dare to do it anymore. I won't say it again." The little silver snake looked at the timid He Tian Tian proudly, nodded its flat head, and said with an expression of "You are very sensible, don't disturb my sleep, otherwise." "I dare not, I dare not, you sleep well," He Tian Tian promised quickly. She was most afraid of this kind of sticky and soft mollusk. After a while, the little silver snake coiled around her ankle and merged with the skin of her ankle at a speed visible to the naked eye, leaving only a circle of silver-white stripes. He Tian Tian was shocked, but she was no longer as scared as she was at the beginning. This little silver snake didn't seem to want to bite her to death. As for why this little silver snake was on her ankle and why the little silver snake could speak, He Tian Tian was puzzled. If she has a chance in the future, she will definitely ask the little silver snake. The next morning, the sun shone into the room through the old curtains. He Tian Tian felt comfortable all over, and her fatigue disappeared. When she got dressed and got up, she saw her ankles and thought of the talking little silver snake in her dream, and she smiled unconsciously. Strange things happen every year, but this year there are more. He Tian Tian took the wash basin to wash up, and when she came back, Huang Jingli and Lin Xiru went to wash up. Taking turns to wash, they could just look at the things in the room. Village Chief Chi bought steamed buns, one for each person, drank a bowl of porridge, and then took everyone back together. It was cooler to travel in the morning, there were fewer people on the road, and the speed was faster. The road was uneven, but the trees on both sides of the road were lush and green. But it was noon, and they passed a stone road with no trees on both sides. The big sun above their heads made He Tian Tian unable to open her eyes. "We'll be there in half an hour," Village Chief Chi said. "You city people are so delicate. In such a hot day, we rural people still have to go to the fields to work." Huang Jingli, Lin Xiru, and Li Mingkai didn't like what Village Chief Chi said, and turned their heads away, ignoring Village Chief Chi. He Tian Tian put her hand on her forehead and squinted her eyes and said, "I hoe the field in the middle of the day, and my sweat drips down the field. Who knows that every grain of rice on the plate is the result of hard work? Without the hard work of farmers, city people can't have enough food." "Ha!" Village Chief Chi smiled. "What the little girl said is very good. Ergu, stop under the tree in front. There is a lotus pond over there. I know people there. I'll go pick some lotus leaves to shade you from the sun." "Thank you, Village Chief Chi." He Tian Tian smiled. There will be many places where village chief Chi will be needed in the future. Now is a good time to leave a good impression and build a good relationship. Chi Dazu likes Tian Tian very much. She is much better than those three in terms of words and deeds. When we got to the front, we arrived at a lotus pond. Chi Dazu said a few words to the people, picked 6 large lotus leaves, and put one on each person's head, and they really didn't feel so hot. Thank you, village chief Chi Huang Jingli smiled, the sun is so strong, I feel dizzy. That's right, if it weren't for village chief Chi, we would still be exposed to the sun, Lin Xiru said. She could see that this village chief Chi was soft-hearted and not hard-hearted, and he returned the favor when He Tian Tian was nice. It can be said that the three of them benefited from He Tian Tian. As for Li Mingkai, he was not stupid, and knew that if he handled the relationship with the village cotters well, his life would be easier in the future, but he just couldn't let go of his face. Village Chief Chi was not a stingy person, and smiled and said, we will all work in the same village in the future, so don't be polite. He Tian Tian saw Huang Jingli, Lin Xiru, and village Chief Chi talking to each other, and she didn't interrupt, but listened quietly. Finally, at around 1 o'clock at noon, we passed through Hujia village and arrived at Kijia village. Most of this remote village is surrounded by mountains and there is very little land. Most of the land is still terraced fields. The labor intensity is high and the grain yield is not high. In a low wooden house, naked children jumped one after another to a large puddle in the lower reaches of the river to take a bath, like dumplings, using the most primitive dog paddle style to see who could swim better. Quick! You brats, be careful and don't go to the deep water. If I see anyone going to the deep water, I'll beat their ass, village chief Chi scolded loudly, but with a smile on his face. He didn't beat him. The meaning of the child is just to remind the child to pay attention to safety. Rural people don't know how to speak tactfully, and most of them care about others through laughing and cursing like this. Got it, a group of little kids addicted to walking around answered louder than the last. A bunch of brats, village chief Chi scolded with a smile, I made you laugh. They are all children. It's hot in summer, so it's nice to take a bath to cool off, Huang Jingli said. Isn't Kijia village just ahead? Yes, just turn that corner, village chief Chi said that although their village is poor, the folk customs are still good and they can complete the commune's tasks every year. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 14. Everyone else is looking at the environment of Kijia village. It has beautiful mountains and clear waters, but the houses are low and not as tall as those in the city, the roads are narrow and uneven. He Tian Tian had lived in Kijia village for so many years in her previous life, and was very familiar with everything here. She didn't want to look at it for a long time, but turned her head and looked away. At this glance, it didn't matter, she actually saw Grandma Chi-san falling down as she was kind to her in her previous life. Grandma Chi-san is almost 70 years old. She used to be a landlord's lady with her feet bound. On the eve of liberation, my son went to Nanshi to attend college and never came back. After so many years, there was no news about her son. Other people in Kijia village thought that Grandma Chi-san's son was dead. Only Grandma Chi-san stubbornly believed that her son was still alive in this world without seeing his body. After liberation, her husband passed away. Grandma Chi-san served her parents-in-law. After her parents-in-law passed away, she lived alone, silently waiting for her son to come home, hoping to see her son before she was born. However, He Tian Tian knew that Grandma Chi-san was a blessed person. The son who had gone out to study back then came back, and he came back from country M. The elderly Grandma Chi-san was full of children and grandchildren, and she enjoyed a few years of happiness. It was not just the fact that Grandma Chi-san had a son from the United States that left a deep impression on He Tian Tian. More importantly, when she often helped Grandma Chi-san with sewing and mending, Grandma Chi-san once told her that Grandma Chi and her family were not good people and asked her to be careful. But at that time, she was completely deceived by MRSG's family, and she couldn't listen to what MRSG said. She just thought it was an old lady from the countryside who liked to talk right and wrong. At that time, she was not married to Chi Jiangguo. If she could think carefully and observe, she might find the truth. Back again, He Tiantian decided to listen more to Grandma Chi San, because this was a person who was willing to tell the truth to her. When everything is a lie, this truth is so precious. Village Chief Chi, look, someone has fallen. He Tiantian pointed to the path not far away. Brother Chi, stop quickly. Village Chief Chi followed He Tianation's finger and saw someone falling, and hurriedly asked Chi Ergu to stop the cattle cart. He Tiantian moved briskly, immediately jumped off the bullock cart and ran over quickly. Even He Tiantian herself didn't notice how fast she was now, which surprised the few people behind her. Village Chief Chi and Chi Ergu also chased after him, but neither of the two grown men caught up with He Tiantian. That little girl He Tiantian runs very fast, Huang Jingli said, and also got off the ox cart. Yes, Lin Xiru said, Li Mingkai, Jingli, let's go and have a look too. We will work here in the future. Chairman M said that we must integrate with the working people and produce together. Huang Jingli also felt this way, and nodded quickly in agreement. Yes, Li Mingkai, let's go and see together. Yeah, Li Mingkai nodded and went over to take a look together. He wanted to leave here as soon as possible, but he couldn't avoid the various certification documents issued by the village chief. The better you behave now, the easier it will be to talk later. Grandma Chi-san was sweating profusely in pain and kept humming, my feet. Grandma Chi, how are you? He Tiantian stepped forward and picked up the pole and bucket and put them aside. Grandma Chi-san opened her eyes and saw a girl with fair skin and big, almond-shaped eyes and watery eyes. She said with difficulty, I twisted my foot while carrying water. Village Chief Chi and Chi Ergu have already followed. Third Grandma, why did you fall? Chi Ergu said, supporting Grandma Chi. She is a fellow villager and we usually have a good relationship with her. Erguze, carry your third grandma onto the ox cart, Village Chief Chi said, supporting her from behind, and the two of them worked together to carry third grandma Chi to the ox cart more than 20 meters away. Someone helped and He Tiantian was no longer needed, so He Tiantian picked up a pole and two wooden buckets and went to a puddle not far away to fetch water. There is a spring in this puddle, and it is at a high place and clean. People in Kijia village have been fetching water here for generations. When Village Chief Chi and Chi Ergu helped Grandma Chi-san onto the ox cart, they turned around to look for He Tiantian and saw He Tiantian carrying water. From the large trembling of the pole, it could be seen that two large buckets were filled with water. Oh, this is so sweet. Thoughtful. The key is, this girl is very strong. Come on, let me pick. Village Chief Chi stepped forward and said, but he couldn't crush this girl. He Tiantian smiled and said, it's okay, Village Chief Chi, I'm very strong. He Tiantian didn't know what was going on, and her strength became so strong. Just now she wanted to pick up 2 half buckets of water, but found that she could easily lift 2 half buckets of water. With the idea of giving it a try, she filled 2 buckets and could easily lift them up. Not strenuous. Village Chief Chi saw that He Tiantian didn't look like he was struggling, so he laughed and said, I didn't expect you to be so strong. Haha, I often work at home. He Tiantian lied. At home, with her parents around, how could He Tiantian ever do such menial work? Huang Jingli and Lin Xiru also had to admit that He Tiantian was a good girl. This time it was Chi Dazu who drove the ox cart. Chi Ergu sat on the ox cart and supported Grandma Chi-san. The others got down and followed. Although Grandma Chi-san's ankle was very painful, she had recovered her breath. Her eyes fell on the beautiful girl with big eyes carrying water, and she liked it very much. If the son had not disappeared and had a daughter, he would probably be as old as this girl. There are already 4 people over there at the educated youth point, occupying 2 rooms, and there are still 2 rooms left. Li Mingkai lives in 1 room, and you 3 girls are crowded into 1 room, which is a bit crowded. You guys stay here first, and I will think of something else, village chief Chi said. He didn't have a good rest yesterday and today. Let's wait until he gets some rest. After hearing this, Grandma Chi-san made a plan in her mind. There were several houses in her house, but she was the only one living alone. In the past, she looked down on those arrogant young people from the city and refused to let them live there. But this little girl carrying water is pretty good. Dazu, the house for the young people in the city is just right for 2 people to live in 1 room, but it would be too crowded for 3 girls to live together. Grandma Chi-san said, "It's so hot, don't wrong these people from the city. Girl, why don't you let that girl stay at my house?" When village chief Chi heard this, his eyes lit up. Yes, other people don't have room at home, but Aunt Chi has a room at home. Now that Aunt Chi has sprained her foot, there is a little girl nearby who can take care of her. Hitianation's eyes lit up and she smiled brightly. If she could live with Grandma Chi-san, she would naturally be very willing and said, "Grandma Chi, will I disturb you?" The word grandma made Grandma Chi-san feel sour. How great it would be if this was her granddaughter. "Don't bother me, I'm the only old woman in the house, and I won't let you live in the house for free. Just treat it as accompanying me, a lonely old woman, sweeping the floor and doing some work," Grandma Chi-san said. Now that her foot is sprained, this little girl you can also help her by staying at her house. Updated, praying for recommendations today. If you have recommendation votes, vote for a few. After the new book period, Kikai will stop shouting all day long, "Oh, mathematical intersection symbol. Mathematical intersection symbol, oh haha." The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 15. Village Chief Chi's father had a good relationship with Uncle Chi, and Aunt Chi always gave him delicious food when he was a child. Now that Aunt Chi is getting older, it would be nice to have someone to accompany her, which can also alleviate the housing pressure in the educated youth spot. Moreover, this new educated youth girl is hard-working, lovable, and kind-hearted. If she is given a better accommodation environment, she will be treated as such. He reciprocated the favor. He Tian didn't want to share a room with Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru. She can live in a big room at Grandma Chi-san's house. Whatever you want to do, don't worry about being seen by others. "Thank you, Grandma," he Tian said crisply. Although Grandma Chi-san's ingredients are not good, she is of high seniority and is a bit thin in the village. Living in Grandma Chi-san's house, no one in the village would bully her. Hearing that he Tian didn't have to share a room with them, Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru were very happy, and they were even more kind to he Tian. As for Li Mingkai, he had made a small calculation in his mind. Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru had 1 room, so he could have 1 room alone. It's nice not to have to share a room with others. Grandma Chi-san's house is the 3rd house in the 2nd row at the entrance of the village. The yard is large, the house is not small, and there is a large vegetable garden at the door. Chi Ergu carried Grandma Chi-san in, while Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru helped he Tian salute her. "Tian, if you have anything to do, come over to our place and tell us," Huang Jingli said with a smile. "Why Tian is so strong, they can also be lazy when working together in the future." Now he Tian takes the initiative to live in a fellow villager's house, saving them space, and they appreciate this kindness. "Thank you, Sister Ziru, Sister Jingli," he Tian said, "I will trouble you if anything happens." Village Chief Chi was also tired, so he arranged for Grandma Chi and said to several people, "You go back and put down your luggage and go to the village branch to get this month's food and food stamps." When they heard that they could receive food and food stamps, several people's eyes lit up and they could have a good meal at noon. "Thank you, Village Chief Chi." Several people thanked Village Chief Chi. They no longer had the arrogance they had before. From now on, what they eat will be in the hands of others. They have no confidence and are so arrogant. Village Chief Chi went to the village branch, and Chi Ergo sent Huang Jingli and others to the place where the Tutu temple was converted. He Tian did not pack her things, but found the wooden basin used by Grandma Chi San for washing her face, brought a towel over, washed Grandma Chi San, and changed into clean clothes. Grandma Chi, come and wash your face, he Tian smiled and said. The water in the large tank outside was warmed by the sun and was not cold. It could be used to wipe the body. Grandma Chi San was happy, this girl had made the right choice. I'm sorry to trouble you, Grandma Chi San said. Girl, what's your name? My name is He Tian. Grandma can just call me Tian. He Tian replied, my home is in Nanji. I will have to take care of Grandma Chi from now on. Nanji. If my son hadn't gone to Nanji to go to school, maybe he wouldn't have disappeared, right? No one can be seen in life, no body in death. Hey, I don't think about it anymore. The more I think about it, the more uncomfortable I feel. Good boy, you haven't had lunch yet. There are vegetable pancakes I made for lunch in the cupboard next door. Eat some quickly to cushion your stomach, Grandma Chi San said, asking He Tian to eat something. This girl has a good heart, is quick at work, and does not dislike her as an old woman. She will keep this girl and be her companion no matter what. She had been alone for too long, staying in an empty home, feeling too lonely. In recent years, my strength has become increasingly weak, and I hope there is someone by my side to help me. He Tian was indeed hungry. She washed her hands and opened the cupboard, and saw 2 vegetable pancakes inside, which were probably Grandma Chi San's dinner. He Tian was not polite. She ate vegetable cakes, and after receiving the food, she made delicious food for Grandma Chi San in the evening. After dinner, He Tian poured a glass of boiling water in front of Grandma Chi San's bed and said, Grandma, I ate those 2 vegetable pancakes. Now I'm going to the village branch to get food. I'll make something for you tonight. Food. Go ahead, I won't be polite to you either. Grandma Chi San smiled, drinking the water He Tian poured and feeling comfortable in her heart. He Tian went out and went to the old village branch according to his memory. The old village branch has 6 large houses next to the threshing floor. 4 of them are usually used to store grain. The other 2 large rooms have 2 tables and a few chairs. This is the village branch. When He Tian arrived, Huang Jingli, Lin Ziru, and Li Mingkai had already arrived. Okay, you are all here. Let's distribute food now. According to the county notice, an educated youth has 10 caddies of coarse grain noodles, 10 caddies of rice, 10 caddies of corn, 2 caddies of soybeans, 2 caddies of food stamps, and 2 feet of cloth stamps a month. 2 taels of salt coupons, and 2 taels of oil coupons. Village Chief Chi distributed the things and put them on the table. These things are barely enough to eat, not enough to eat, but not enough to starve to death. Thank you very much, Village Chief Chi Huang Jingli said. She had no job in her hometown and couldn't make any money. She could only get 15 kilograms of food supply a month, so she couldn't eat enough. Now she weighs more than 30 pounds, which can greatly improve her life. After loading the tickets and these people were about to leave, Village Chief Chi said, you have just arrived, so you probably don't know the situation in the village yet. Now you have a day off and get familiar with the village. You will start work the day after tomorrow. By then I will let the educated youths from the past take care of you. You will get work points later. In the future, food and various tickets will be distributed based on centimeters. If you work more, you will get more points. If you work less, you will get less points. There is no difference between life and death. Village Chief Chi, don't worry. We support rural construction, and we are not afraid of hardship or fatigue, Huang Jingli said, making her position clear. You can't eat for free anywhere, and eating while working is a matter of course. We understand, village chief Chi Linziru said, if others can do it, she can do it too. Li Mingkai also nodded. There are many kinds of jobs. If he offends the village party secretary, he will suffer the consequences if he is assigned dirty work in the future. Village chief Chi felt a little disdainful. These educated youths were nice to talk to and would complain when it was time to work. But I won't complain for a long time. If you don't work, you won't get sense. If you don't work, you won't get food. If you don't have food, you will go hungry. These educated youths will work honestly after experiencing the discomfort of being hungry. Because hunger is more terrible than fatigue. After taking the things, He Tian followed the three of them back to the village. He Tian is not hungry, but Huang Jingli, Lin Ziru and Li Mingkai haven't had lunch yet, so they hurried back to the educated youth point. He Tian put the grain in the storage room, picked up the broom and swept the yard cleanly. There are cucumbers, tomatoes and beans in the vegetable garden at the door. I picked some and then pulled all the grass in the vegetable garden. Seeing that it was getting cooler outside, He Tian took Grandma Chi-san out of the house. Yes, take it out. Now He Tian is very strong and can easily carry an 80-pound-old lady. Grandma Chi, it's stuffy in the house, but it's cool outside. He Tian put Grandma Chi-san on a chair outside. It was already past 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There were more shade trees in the yard, and the breeze blew, bringing coolness. A comfortable coolness. Haha, thank you for being here, otherwise no one would take care of me as an old woman. Grandma Chi-san sighed, feeling extremely melancholy. This is the sorrow of being childless. No one knows whether her son is alive or dead. With a lot of help, my collection finally stumbled past 300. Thank you very much for your tips and recommendation votes. Every bit of support from everyone is precious to Kikai, thank you again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 16. At this moment, Chi Ergu walked in with a middle-aged woman. He Tian knew this person as Chi Jiangguo's second aunt Wang Shuilian, who was the only barefoot doctor in several surrounding villages. There is a small clinic in Hujiakan next door. For those who are in poor health or unable to walk, you can ask her to come directly to your home for injections, fluids, and some Chinese herbal medicine. Rural people generally fight hard when they get sick, and only when they can't bear it anymore do they seek help from a doctor. Wang Shuilian is probably around 34 or 5 years old now. She has a big braid and thick eyebrows and big eyes. Before liberation, the Wang family owned a medicine shop, and the Wang family had been practicing medicine for generations, so this was a family traditional craft. People who eat whole grains and cereals without getting sick must use them from the Wang family, so the Wang family has great prestige in the neighborhood. He Tian has not forgotten that in her previous life, Chi's mother, together with Wang Shuilian's younger brother, who worked in the county hospital, said that she was suffering from health problems and could not give birth to a child. In this life, He Tian will not let go of Chi Jiangguo's family, nor will he let go of his accomplices. Grandma Chi-san sprained her foot, and she didn't know if she had broken any bones, so she had to call a doctor. Third Aunt Chi, come here, let me check for you, are there any broken bones? Wang Shuilian's second aunt is Chi Jiangguo's mother. She often comes to Kijia village and knows most of the people in Kijia village. Grandma Chi-san smiled and said, then I'll trouble you. Wang Shuilian sat on the small bench that He Tian moved over, and lifted up Grandma Chi-san's trousers. Her ankles were slightly red and swollen. Wang Shuilian touched Grandma Chi-san's ankle a few times, which made Grandma Chi-san groan in pain. It hurts a bit, third aunt, please bear with it for a while, Wang Shuilian said, constantly changing her techniques, massaging Grandma Chi's ankles. Fortunately, no bones were hurt. The swelling will subside in a few days. I'll heal it for you when you get back. Take some ointment and send the child over later. Thank you for your hard work, Grandma Chi-san said. I'll give it to you. How much? Wang Shuilian didn't refuse, she couldn't work in vain on a hot day, and said, the homemade ointment only costs 50 cents. It will last for 7 days and is guaranteed to reduce swelling. Sweet girl, you go to the cabinet in my room and give the money to the doctor, Grandma Chi-san said, about to tell He Tian where to put the money. He Tian brought a basin of water and placed it next to it. She took out 50 cents from her body and said with a smile, Doctor, you wash your hands first. Grandma, I will put the money aside first. When you are better, you can pay it back. On the first day she came here, she went through the place where the third grandma kept her money. After all, she was not very familiar with it. It would be most appropriate for her to advance the money first. Chi Ergu had been watching from the side, thinking of He Tian's performance along the way, knowing the importance of advance and retreat, and felt that this girl was good. Wang Shuilian looked He Tian up and down and said with a smile, Third aunt, is this a relative of yours? No, Grandma Chi-san said with a smile, I am not so lucky. This girl is an educated youth and just arrived in our village today. There is no place to live in the educated youth area, so I brought this girl to my house. You can also be my companion. That's right, the little girl is pretty good, Wang Shuilian praised her. Although she is young, she is good looking. If you have a good relationship with Aunt Chi in the village, you will be able to live a more harmonious life in the village in the future. He Tian lowered her head, looking embarrassed. Third aunt, I have to go somewhere else. Please wait a moment. My child will bring the medicine over before dinner, Wang Shuilian said. After washing her hands, she took the money and prepared to leave. He Tian walked Wang Shuilian to the door and said, Doctor, go slowly. He Tian's attitude was very helpful to Wang Shuilian. In the countryside, ordinary people love and hate doctors, but no one is as respectful as He Tian. Don't send her off, go back, Wang Shuilian said politely. Just as she was about to leave, she heard someone calling her. He Tian's heart skipped a beat, as she still saw that person on the first day. Auntie, why are you here? Qi Jiangguo walked over slowly. It's not that Qi Jiangguo can't walk fast, but because he walks fast, it shows the shortcomings of his long and short legs, which is particularly ugly. He Tian glanced at Qi Jiangguo, then turned and entered the room. That man was the same as before, wearing a white shirt, blue trousers, black cloth shoes, and neat short hair. At first glance, he looked polite. When Qi Jiangguo saw He Tian for the first time, he was very surprised. He looked like a girl from the city, with fair skin, good figure, and good looks. I'm here to rub Aunt Chi's feet, Wang Shuilian said with a smile. I have something else to do, so I won't go to your house. I will go to your house to sit there when I have time. Okay, I won't delay your business, Qi Jiangguo said. He also knew that this aunt was a barefoot doctor nearby. She was usually very busy, but he just couldn't let go of the girl he just saw. Aunt, who just sent me a message, are you a relative of third Aunt Chi? Wang Shuilian smiled and said, he is not a relative of third Aunt Chi. He is a young man from the city. He has no place to live, so he is staying at third Aunt Chi's house. After Wang Shuilian finished speaking, she hurriedly left. At this time, bicycles were a rare thing. Wang Shuilian didn't have one, so he had to walk on 2 legs wherever he went. When Qi Jiangguo heard young girl in the city, his eyes lit up. If this was the case, it would be much easier to handle. He Tian entered so quickly that she didn't see a sinister smile on Qi Jiangguo's handsome face. Seeing that He Tian could take care of Grandma Qi Ergu said goodbye, sweet girl, Grandma, he is leaving it to you. I didn't even enter the house when I came out yesterday morning, so I have to go home now. Brother Chi, I will take care of Grandma, he Tian said. If you have something to do, go ahead and do it first. After Chi Ergo left, he Tian started to make dinner. She used the food he Tian received today, cooked 2 bowls of rice porridge, fried beans, and cucumbers. Oh, Tian, your cooking skills are amazing. The same meal, how come it's not so delicious when I make it? Grandma Chi-san praised, drinking thick rice porridge, fragrant beans, crispy cucumber. Grandma Chi has given me the award, so I'll make whatever I want. If there's anything that doesn't suit your taste, just say it, he Tian said, finally having a satisfying meal. Although precious rice was used, this was the first day at Grandma Chi-san's house, so I couldn't be stingy. Grandma Chi-san paid special attention to these details after eating and rinsing her mouth. Before liberation, Grandma Chi-san was a lady from a wealthy family and had rules. He Tian cleaned up the dishes, washed them and put them in the kitchen. She moved a small bench and sat next to Grandma Chi-san. She said, Grandma Chi, tell me about the things in the village. Secretary Chi said, the day after tomorrow our new educated youth are about to start work, and I don't know how to do farm work, so I don't know what to pay attention to. Seeing the worried look on He Tianation's face, Grandma Chi-san couldn't help laughing and said, you are young, don't worry, Secretary Chi will not arrange heavy work for you. The people in our village are all okay on the surface. They're decent on the surface, but there are a few who are dishonest in private. Whatever you do in the future, don't be left alone, and you should be fine. Thank you for the tip and recommendation. At the end of the month, I will issue a unified thank you note. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 17. Not being blind is not just talk. He Tian takes everything seriously and sees everyone clearly. Oh, which family is that? He Tian asked, pretending to be confused. In the past, she was tightly controlled by Chi's mother, and she didn't know much about some people in the village. In order not to suffer hidden losses in the future, she had to inquire in advance. Grandma Chi-san looked at He Tianation's childish face, and then at He Tianation's well-behaved face. She thought for a while and said, I shouldn't talk about the rights and wrongs of my fellow villagers, but since you asked, I will talk to you carefully, but these words, just say them here, I won't admit them outside. Grandma Chi-san is still highly respected in Kijia village even though she has a bad background, her son is missing, and her husband is dead. This shows that she is a considerate person and is not an ordinary rural old lady who only talks about her wife. Okay, let's just talk about it and don't tell anyone else. I'm not familiar with those educated youths, we just met today, He Tian explained, promising not to tell anyone else. That's good, Grandma Chi-san nodded, our village chief is a nice person. As long as you obey the village's arrangements and work honestly, he won't make things difficult for you. Below the village chief, there is the accountant Chi Shulai, who is a bit stingy. Be careful in front of him, and work hard, otherwise you will be deducted. Zhao Dejiao, Ergo's mother just now, is the women's director of our village. She is a good person, but if you want to take advantage of it, if she helps, you have to give her some benefits. Grandma Chi-san told He Tian about the temperaments and working styles of the main people in the village, so that He Tian was mentally prepared. I have to say that Grandma Chi-san summed it up very thoroughly. He Tian never thought that these people would be like this before. This is not only because Chi's mother prevents He Tian from contacting the outside world, but also because He Tian doesn't want to get along with others and keeps shrinking in her own turtle shell. Later, due to the pressure of life, he had to crawl out of the turtle shell to make a living. After hearing this, it will be of great benefit to He Tian. After giving the medicine to Grandma Chi-san, Grandma Chi-san could get up and walk around slowly. After washing, the old man was in low spirits, so Grandma Chi-san went back to the house to sleep. He Tian lives in the west wing of Grandma Chi-san's house. The house on the east faces the sun, so some sundries are placed there. The house in Grandma Chi-san's house was better than the house in the educated youth spot. It was spacious and furnished. What satisfied He Tian the most was the big bed, which was 1.8 meters wide. At noon, the mat had been wiped and taken outside to dry in the sun. The room was also cleaned. Grandma Chi-san gave He Tian a mosquito net so that he could have a good sleep today. He Tian started to pack the things her mother had brought for her, and took out the clothes she would wear tomorrow, a white shirt, dark green pants, and a pair of blue cloth shoes. Thinking of the package Huo Yingja gave him, she hadn't looked at it in the car. Now she was alone and could take it out and look at it. A blue striped handkerchief contained food stamps and more than 10 yuan. The food stamps were probably from his family, and the money was probably Huo Yingja's own private money. Next to it is a piece of floral cloth, estimated to be 1.5 meters in length, which can be used to make clothes. There is also a book with a letter in it, which reads, Tian, I'm sorry, I was short of time and couldn't prepare more things for you. Please forgive me. I give you this book in the hope that you can memorize it proficiently, learn to use these exquisite sentences, and stop being lazy. These food stamps were given by my mother, and the money was saved by me. You must keep it. After all, you are going to such a far place, and it's no good if you don't have money around you. When you go out alone, you must take good care of yourself. Finally, when you get to your destination, you must write to me. I have already put the stamps in the envelope for you this time. Distance will put our revolutionary feelings to the test. But please believe that I am sincere and will not change. The situation in Nanji is very serious now, which is why I agree with Uncle He to send you away. Don't worry here, I will let Dad take care of Uncle He and Aunt Wang. You don't have to worry about the family. That's all for now. I hope you'll write to me and let me know your situation. Sincerely. Salute. Huo Yingja. X month X day 19XX. He Tian looked at this sincere letter, tears streaming down her face. Not only was she moved by Huo Yingja, but the opportunity to change her destiny was just before her, and she couldn't miss it. An 8-cent gas stamp fell from the envelope. This stamp is used nationwide. It's dark now, so He Tian can't light the lamp and wastes lamp oil, thinking about getting up early tomorrow morning to write a reply. Lying under the mosquito net, shaking the cattail leaf fan in his hand, thinking about Huo Yingja's letter, he fell asleep sweetly. Early the next morning, He Tian wrote a reply to Huo Yingja, including a letter to her parents. When you see village chief Chi, tell him if anyone can go to the county town to help send a letter. He Tian cooked cornstarch, and 2 small handfuls were enough for 2 people to have 2 bowls of thick cornmeal, which tasted good with the pickles made by Grandma Chi-san. Seeing such a breakfast, Grandma Chi-san nodded secretly. He Tian is a girl who knows how to live. By eating like this, you can eat the little food distributed by the village. Tian, you have a good rest at home today. I have to go to work. Grandma Chi-san said, if you don't work, you won't get centimeters, and if you don't work, you won't get food. If she, an old woman, doesn't work, she won't have enough food to eat. He Tian was stunned, looked at Grandma Chi-san's feet, and said, Grandma Chi, your feet haven't healed yet, how can you go to work? It's okay, it's okay. As I get older, I don't have to go to the ground. I only need to break the cotton husks. Grandma Chi-san said, I just need to sit down and move my hands. I can do this job. He Tian nodded and said, okay, I'll carry you there. I can walk. Grandma Chi-san refused to let He Tian carry her, for fear of crushing He Tian. He Tian smiled and said, Grandma Chi, I am very strong and can carry it. If you don't let me carry it, I will be embarrassed to live here and eat vegetables from your garden. Grandma Chi-san was moved after hearing this and said, well, you try it. If you can't carry it, I will walk by myself. It doesn't matter if you go slower. He Tian half crouched and quickly carried Grandma Chi-san on her back. Look, I can carry it, he Tian said, lifting the basket from the ground with one hand. Grandma Chi, hold the basket. There are tools for peeling cotton husks inside. He Tian is fine and is working with Grandma Chi-san today. Following Grandma Chi-san's directions, He Tian came to two big houses in the middle of the village, where a group of old ladies were already chatting and laughing. Laughing and laughing. When everyone saw He Tian come in, they saw Grandma Chi-san on He Tian's back. Third aunt, you sprained your ankle. Just rest at home, Zhao Dejiao said. Yesterday, she had learned about Chi-san's grandma's affairs from her son. Fortunately, it wasn't serious, so she didn't come to see her. It's Monday, the work week has begun, and I wish everyone a successful week. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 18. The tasks are tight now, and Zhao Dejiao doesn't have that much free time. Haha, it's okay. I just sprained my foot and didn't hurt my hand. I can still work. Grandma Chi-san did not take other people's politeness as due. She sat on her small bench and began to peel the cotton shells. Over the years, Grandma Chi-san has become accustomed to relying on herself for everything. This is very admirable. Zhao Dejiao was very satisfied. With one more person, the task could be completed earlier. After peeling these, dry them and quickly deliver them to the city to complete this year's task. Third aunt, is this the new young man from the city who lives in your house? Zhao Dejiao heard his son praise He Tian more than once last night and was very curious about He Tian. Yes, Grandma Chi-san said, it's hard for this girl. She carried me all the way here. There are more young people in the city and they can't live in Luoluadian. From now on, this girl will live with me and keep me company. Lonely old lady. Everyone knew the situation at Grandma Chi-san's house. If a young man from the city lived in her house and could be her companion, they all expressed their understanding. He Tian squatted beside her, helping Grandma Chi-san with her work. You have to peel 6 buckets a day to get 6 work points, 1 bucket for 1 work point. He Tian is not a big person, but he is quick at work. In addition, he is stronger than before and can peel cotton shells very quickly. After a while, he helped Grandma Chi-san complete her morning tasks. Third aunt, you and Tian peeled off the skin very well and quickly. Zhao Dejiao smiled, okay, you have completed your tasks in the morning. You can go home and rest. Come back in the afternoon. Okay, I'll go back first. Grandma Chi-san was happy. With He Tian as a helper, she could be more relaxed today. When there were fewer people at night, she talked to Zhao Dejiao and asked her to arrange an easy job for He Tian. Amid everyone's envious eyes, Grandma Chi-san was helped away by He Tian. Everyone was talking about how lucky Grandma Chi-san was to live with such a young man from the city who knew how to work. In the future, she would not only be able to relieve her boredom, but also be more relaxed. He Tian and Grandma Chi-san hit it off immediately, and they walked slowly along the way, laughing and joking. When he was almost home, he met someone He Tian didn't want to see, but couldn't avoid it. Third Grandma, how is your foot? Chi Jiangguo asked with concern, and stepped forward to help Chi Third Grandma's other side. Grandma Chi-san smiled and said, it's okay, I'm much better. Third Grandma, my mother asked me to bring 6 eggs to replenish your health, Chi Jiangguo said, while helping Chi-san's grandmother into the house. He Tian didn't want to look at Chi Jiangguo's face, so she kept her head down and didn't dare to look up. It's not that he's afraid of Chi Jiangguo, but he's worried that he won't be able to hide the resentment in his eyes, so he goes up to scratch Chi Jiangguo's face. Such a man spun so many despicable lies, making her live in confusion and regretting for the rest of her life. Grandma Chi-san was stunned. Although she was from the same village, she didn't have much contact with Chi Jian in the country, and they didn't get to such a good level. These eggs are good things. Take them back quickly. My foot twisted a little, but it's not a big deal. Grandma Chi-san refused and said, these eggs are usually exchanged for salt secretly. The oil changer, how could he be willing to take it out and give it to others? Chi Jiangguo smiled shyly and said softly, "Third grandma, my mother asked me to send this. Please accept it as soon as possible. I have something else to do, so I will go back first. Sister Tian Tian, third grandma will leave it to you. If anything happens, just go to the east end of the village and see me. By the way, my name is Chi Jiangguo." He Tiantian nodded and did not reply. Chi Jiangguo thought He Tiantian was shy, his eyes fell on He Tiantian, and his heart palpitated. He admitted that he had a crush on this young man from the city named He Tiantian. However, this young man in the city seemed to be unfriendly to him, so he had to use his brain to think about how to win the heart of a beautiful woman in the future. With Grandma Chi-san's refusal, Chi Jiangguo couldn't stay much longer, so he quickly walked away without waiting for Grandma Chi-san to give him the eggs. At this time, He Tiantian raised her head and looked coldly at Chi Jiangguo's retreating back when Grandma Chi-san couldn't see her. In this life, no matter how good you do, she will never believe it or have anything to do with this person. She not only hated Chi Jiangguo, but also hated Chi's mother, Chi Fangfang, and those who deceived her. It's strange, Jiangguo's mother is notoriously stingy. We only have a normal relationship with her. She gave her 6 eggs, but I didn't dare accept them. Grandma Chi-san said, Jiangguo's mother is unprofitable. A master who gets up early will never send 6 eggs over for no reason. He Tiantian rolled her eyes, saying that the weasel was not kind to the rooster as he wished him a happy new year. Then when something happens to his family, you can return it and don't take advantage of his family. He Tiantian said in a dull voice, Grandma Chi, sit down first and I'll cook. He Tiantian went to the kitchen, kneaded a dough with thin noodles and thick noodles, rolled out noodles, and had exactly 2 bowls of cold cucumbers and boiled vegetables, and had lunch like this. In the afternoon, He Tiantian sent Grandma Chi-san to the place where she was working, and unexpectedly met Chi Jiangguo's mother, her mother-in-law in her previous life. This old pious woman was scanning He up and down with the eyes like looking at goods. Sweet. He Tiantian was tired of Chi Jiangguo, and even more tired of Chi's mother. Such eyes made He Tiantian very uncomfortable. Not wanting to stay any longer, I took a small basket and went to the young people's spot in the city. Although she knows that most people in Kijia village are good people, she is an outsider after all. If she has conflicts with people in the village, most of them will turn against the people in the village, and these young people in the city are outsiders and cannot get along with each other. Well, maybe I can help her at a critical moment. Now most of the young people in the city are working. If there are no young people in the city, He Tiantian wants to wait for a while before going. Thinking about the current season, it is the time when the wild jujubes on the back mountain are ripe. Those kind of dates, even if they are ripe, are sour when they are first picked. They need to be stored for 7 or 8 days before they become sweet. Most of the wild jujubes on the wild jujube trees on the back mountain have matured and been picked. The place where He Tiantian was going was very hidden, and only she knew about it. In the 72nd year of the previous life, there was a severe drought in Daowen County and the grain production was reduced. Except for those who paid the public grain, they were not given much. When they were not full, they went to the mountains to dig wild vegetables. He Tiantian accidentally fell into a cave. There were a lot of wild vegetables, a wild jujube tree and a puddle where fish could occasionally be caught, so I didn't starve to death. Whenever he was unhappy, He Tiantian would go there to be alone. Even Qi Jiangguo and Qi Fangfang didn't know that place. He Tiantian has many memories there, so He Tiantian is ready to go there and have a look. He Tiantian climbed the mountain very quickly. In addition to her strength, she also discovered something different from her previous life, that is, she could climb the mountain quickly on foot. It took He Tiantian only half an hour to reach the place that originally took an hour. There was a rope in the basket. He Tiantian tied the rope to a thicker tree trunk, covered it with leaves, and then slid along the rope to the cave covered by bushes. There was something wrong with my computer at home, and I didn't know what was going on, so I finally logged in. The upload is finished, I'm sorry. I will choose to publish regularly in the future. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Qi Xing Cao. Chapter 19. The entrance to this cave is vertical. When you enter the cave entrance, it is about 2 meters deep and you reach the bottom. There is a small horizontal hole on the side. Enter through this hole and walk about 10 meters to reach He Tianatian's secret base. It was not a closed cave. It was about 200 to 300 square meters on the ground and about 10 square meters above where you could see the sky. It was a very spacious cave. The top is light transmissive, so as long as there is sun outside, it will not be dark inside. There was a strange looking tree in the cave. He Tiantian didn't know what kind of tree it was. There was a spring at the root of the tree, and clear green water gurgled out. The spring water formed a small puddle around the puddle. Many plants grew, most of which were wild vegetables that He Tiantian knew. He Tiantian didn't starve to death because he ate the wild vegetables here in his previous life. This is He Tianatian's secret base and her lucky place. It was a little hot after walking all the way. When He Tiantian bent down and was about to wash her face, suddenly her left ankle moved a few times and the little silver snake slipped out of her trousers. He Tiantian was most afraid of this kind of mollusk. When she saw this little silver snake coming out of her trousers, her back was numb and she was sweating profusely. Little silver snake, what on earth are you? What do you want to do? Don't you feel disgusted by pestering her all day long? Also, too scary. Just when He Tiantian was worried and sad, the little silver snake swam freely in the puddle, jumping from time to time and splashing water. There were 2 fish inside, and they went into its belly. How can you eat a crucian carp as big as your chin with a body as thick as chopsticks? Watching the little silver snake eating fish, He Tiantian collapsed on the ground, touched her ankle, lifted up the trousers, and the silver pattern disappeared. It can be seen that the circle of patterns is this little silver snake. Now the little silver snake is playing in the water, so if she escapes now, will she be able to get rid of this disgusting and scary mollusk? He Tiantian was instinctively afraid of this soft little animal, and now she wanted to get rid of this little thing. She stood up quietly, took a few steps back, turned around and was about to run away when she heard an eerie and shrill voice coming from behind. If you dare to run, I will drink all your blood right now. The little silver snake poked its head out of the water and shook its flat little head. Why is this stupid woman so stupid? The majestic Snake King is here. I don't know. Flattery and want to escape. Stupid. How stupid? The sound behind made He Tianatian's hair stand on end. He Tiantian stepped forward and dared not go forward anymore. She turned around timidly and asked cautiously, Snake King, have mercy on me, Snake King, have mercy on me, seeing you having a great time, I thought you liked it here, so. The expression of the little silver snake in the water was the same as in the dream that day, contemptuous, disdainful, and arrogant. It was really strange, with the flat head of the little silver snake and the 2 small eyes of the sesame mung bean, she could actually see so many expressions of the Snake King. Is the Snake King powerful, or is she insane? By the way, today's scene is the same as the scene I dreamed about that night. Could it be that that night was not a dream, but reality? Thinking of what the little silver snake said that day, Tian was trembling. She didn't want to die. This evil talking Snake King must not bite her to death. She hasn't saved her parents, she hasn't saved her own life, and most importantly, she hasn't gotten revenge yet. She can't just die cowardly. Humph! Little Silver Snake raised its head proudly and said, "You and I have the same blood. How can I not know what you are thinking?" Tian felt a little embarrassed at having someone see through her heart, but this made her less scared. Since the other party knows all her inner activities and can speak, it proves that this little silver snake has magical powers and she cannot escape. Then face it and ask carefully what is going on. What if she learns a few tricks from the Snake King? Wouldn't revenge be more effective with half the effort? After Tian thought about it, he broke the jar and asked bravely, "You and I are of the same blood. Although you threatened me several times, you did not really kill me, which proves that I am useful to you. Since it is in this way, please tell me what is going on, so that I can understand. I am an ordinary person who suddenly returned to the 1970s from decades ago, and there is a talking and blood-drinking Snake King on my ankle. Of course I will be afraid, this is human nature, you can't say that to me." Tian couldn't reverse the situation, so she would go face to face with the little silver snake directly because she was barefoot and not afraid of wearing shoes. The risk was that she would die. If Tian encountered such a situation in his previous life, even if Tian was not frightened to death, he would be frightened crazy and keep running away instead of desperately looking for a solution. Now that he has relived his life, Tian wants to do something different. If you are not afraid of death, are you still afraid of these things? Let all the monsters and ghosts come to him. Tian is upright and not afraid of shadows, not doing bad things, not afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. Keep comforting yourself. Self-hypnosis. The little silver snake was a little surprised. Oh, this woman with a temperament like a tortoise actually dared to talk to it like this. However, this is good, it is much more pleasing to the eyes than the weak and cowardly woman before. For the sake of providing the holy blood to this great king, I will tell you the truth. Anyway, if you know it, you can't escape from my grasp, the little silver snake said proudly, with an expression of great power. It was the Snake King from another plane in the demon world. When I was fighting a black bear king, I was ambushed. After going through so much trouble to kill the black bear king, I only had a wisp of my soul left. I was sucked into the space crack and came to the human world. My soul fell into the egg on your persimmon tree. I used my last bit of strength to break through the eggshell. You happened to be next to me at that time, so I drank your blood to replenish my strength. Little Silver Snake paused and looked at Tian up and down with disdainful eyes, as if he was looking at a piece of garbage. Tian felt numb and uncomfortable at the sight. She swallowed her saliva and asked, "But what? Didn't you drink my blood?" "Humph!" Little Silver Snake proudly turned her head away from Tian, "But your blood is filthy. It's so filthy. It's so smelly. Damn, you're a bully. You drank her blood and you still think her blood is dirty? Dislike the smell of her blood. Don't be such a bully. Then don't drink it." Tian was also annoyed. "I'm not begging you to drink it. What you drank is my blood, not my urine. If you lose too much blood, I will die. I will die of..." Hearing that Tian dared to refute, the Snake King became angry and said, "Do you think I want to drink it? You were not there at that time. If I don't drink it, I will die. But your blood is so bad, so I can only drain your blood and send you to this era to slowly drink your blood until I am able to tear open the rift in space and leave here." In fact, there was another reason that Little Silver Snake didn't say, lest He Tian would be proud and self-righteous. In fact, even if He Tian's blood is filthy, it is still fatally attractive to the little silver snake, otherwise the soul would not fall on the persimmon tree next to He Tian. He Tian was still a little confused, thinking that people's blood was impure at that time, so she said, people in this era don't take hormones, and the food is natural and pollution-free. You can drink other people's blood, not mine. Bar. Uncle Snake shook his head, almost stupid to death from He Tian, and said, after drinking your blood, I can't drink other people's blood, otherwise you think I am willing to follow you, this stupid match girl. If he had any other choice, he would never choose this idiot. Hum hum. The arrogant Snake King is showing off his power, but everyone is quick to support him. Special thanks to the editor for making the cover for me, it's so beautiful, thank you, wow. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi-Sing Cao. Chapter 20. He Tian was not happy. Although she was not extremely smart, she had some awareness. It seemed that she had a trump card to make a comeback. Since you can only drink my blood, why don't you, little silver snake, fawn over me honestly and show off your power in front of me? He Tian had a plan in mind and decided to talk about life and ideals with this arrogant little silver snake, so that it would understand that at this moment and that moment, it should not be so arrogant. You know, the end of a tsundere is very tragic, if you accidentally get struck by lightning. Ahem, He Tian cleared her throat, you mean, if you don't drink my blood, you won't be able to recover? Let alone tear open that space rift and return to your hometown. The Snake King gave He Tian a you're not stupid look, raised his head and said, that's the great demon world, don't speak so crudely. To tell you the truth, you're right, yes, it's small human, just remember it's your honor. It's an honor for you, uncle. Since you don't look down on small humans, then don't drink my blood. Haha, He Tian smiled. Now that she has money, she can be arrogant. Then if I die, won't you be able to drink my blood? You can't tear apart the space anymore. The crack has returned to that great demon world. You can understand it this way, weak human, the Snake King continued to say proudly, haha, under his majesty, this stupid human's brain finally became normal and he could draw inferences from one instance to another. Sure enough, the saying goes well, birds of a feather flock together, and being with such a smart Snake King like him, this stupid human being became smart. The muscles on He Tian's face twitched twice, she thought about her words carefully, and said leisurely, haha, in that case, you have to flatter me. If I die, you will have to live with us weak humans for the rest of your life. I'm on a planet and can never return to that great demon world. Oh, what a pity. The Snake King is arrogant, but he is not an idiot. Naturally, he can hear other meanings from He Tian's casual words. You dare to threaten me? You humble human being, the Snake King arched his head and was about to rush towards He Tian. Bite her to death. If it doesn't seem possible, then bite her. He Tian closed her eyes, raised her neck, pointed to her aorta, and said, bite here, this is the aorta, drink it all and bite me to death. Anyway, I live such a miserable life, far away from my parents and relatives, and still, to face those annoying people, a weak woman who cannot eat well or sleep well might as well die. One death will lead to 100 deaths. He Tian held her breath and plucked up her courage, thinking that if she was always threatened by the Snake King, she might as well fight now and negotiate terms with the Snake King. You can't stay in a passive position and be bullied by the Snake King. Stupid humans. Tiny humans. Humble human beings. When I think of the smelly fart of the Snake King, I want to slap it. Before fighting the outside world, you must first make peace with the inside. We must reach an agreement with this stinking Snake King today. The little silver snake flew in front of He Tian Tian and hesitated when he saw He Tian Tian looking like she was begging for death. Drinking S blood at one time can certainly give you a big meal, but after all, you can't cultivate your soul and spiritual power all at once. Moreover, this stupid woman is right. If He Tian Tian dies, then he will never be able to leave this place with thin spiritual energy, and will never be able to return to the great demon world. The little silver snake landed on He Tianation's shoulder and stared with cold eyes. You, a humble human being, what do you want? There was no unexpected numbness or pain. He Tian Tian opened her eyes when she heard the voice. Haha, her threat worked. That's good. If she can get help from the proud Snake King, she can have someone to rely on in Kijia village. As for being called a humble human being by the Snake King, He Tian Tian doesn't care. There is a long way to go, and she will slowly train this arrogant little silver snake in the future. It's actually very simple, He Tian Tian said. I don't ask for much. You help me live safely and solve my difficulties. I will try my best to eat well and have more blood. You can also drink more. What do you think? The arrogant Snake King didn't bother to look at He Tian Tian and said, I don't know how to be blessed in the blessings. If it weren't for me, how could you become so strong? How could your skin be so good and how beautiful you could be? Oops, it turns out that the great strength is the result of the Snake King. As for having good skin and good looks, that's all due to her parents, right? Does it have anything to do with it? However, the Snake King can talk very enthusiastically, so He Tian Tian doesn't want to dampen the Snake King's enthusiasm and just let it talk. The behavior of the little silver snake this time is just like a dog jumping over the wall in a hurry. No, it should be a sign of a snake jumping over the wall in a hurry. To be a human being, you should have your own dreams. Maybe they will come true. Thank you so much, He Tian Tian said gratefully. If you keep helping me, I will keep helping you. We are mutually beneficial. Humph, the Snake King was arrogant again. This human wanted to be on an equal footing with him. He was such a cunning human. He had underestimated this bold woman before. The Snake King regretted telling He Tian Tian the truth just now. He Tian Tian is not afraid anymore. If we can discuss it, there is room. Snake King, how much of my blood do you want to drink? He Tian Tian said. Now that there is a lack of material resources, if the Snake King drinks too much, she will soon die of anemia. The Snake King thought for a while and said, actually, it's not much. Using your human calculation method, it's just 2 taels of blood. 2 ounces of blood is not much. 2 taels of blood a year, my body can handle it. He Tian Tian nodded and said, that's it? Who said it's 2 taels of blood a year? Snake King was dissatisfied. 2 taels of blood a month. So much. When He Tian Tian heard this, he felt very excited. 2 taels of blood a month, 100 ml, kept going. With her current diet, she will definitely become anemic. The Snake King said angrily, you women are really troublesome. You only pay more than 2 taels when you come to visit me every month. I ask you to provide me with 2 taels, but you still lose money. Aren't you just worried that you will be in bad health if you bleed too much? Is this the case? Your health will only get better and better as I treat you on your ankles. Don't worry about it, it's unfounded. And damn it, the Snake King also knows about a woman's youth partner? He Tian Tian swallowed. The Snake King has a wide range of interests, and his hands and eyes are all over the sky. Although the other party is not a human being, the Snake King has human thinking. He Tian Tian will not continue to talk about Ant with the Snake King, as long as she is not anemic and does not harm her body. I promise, He Tian Tian said quickly, we will have a cooperative relationship from now on. You can't look down on me. Broken jar, He Tian Tian will treat her as Ant who comes to visit twice a month from now on. Hey, it makes me sad just thinking about it. However, He Tian Tian is open-minded, and she can accept this result if she gains something or loses something. I hope the Snake King can keep his word and help her take care of her body. Humph. The arrogant Snake King jumped into a puddle several meters away and showed with his actions that it just looked down on He Tian Tian. So what? He Tian Tian rolled her eyes. The Snake King was not only arrogant, but also very childish. He didn't look like a king at all. Maybe it was because of his heartless and arrogant temper that he was beaten and defeated by others, and came to the human world that the Snake King despised. On the first day of September, keep asking for votes. The heroine counterattacked, and the Snake King was still very cute. Asterisk carrot. Carrot asterisk, hee hee.